Well, quite a commanding performance as was. We kept our promise. We weren't going to come for a 35th over little comeback session that we normally have. Well before that, India finished off this much vaunted attack, and this is where it stands 110. Looks very strange when you put it like that. 110 for 10. Yeah, that's 110 all out basically. Just about half the overs used. They had 25 more to bat if they wanted to. But just look at that one figure in the middle. Jay Bumrah, 6 for 19 and 7.2. Already his best figures. When he got his fifth, he decided he was going to be greedy and picked up a sixth one. A top score from the captain, Joss Buttler, 30 of 32. But once India's fast bowlers were into this innings, there was no looking back. Here we are, much earlier than expected on our mid-show on Cricbuzz Live. Now, I'll let you into a little secret. Zaheer Khan was scheduled to do both the combos in the 15th and 35th over. He wasn't happy. I can tell you, he wasn't happy doing that. So he decided to send a quick message to his fast bowlers. Is there any way you can get me out of doing that? And they obliged Zaheer. Well done.
I think it's the ultra aggressive approach of England which has helped.
Okay, first salvo fired. We love it. You're hearing it right here on Cricbuzz Live. Michael Vaughan, over to you.
I actually didn't think they were aggressive. I just thought they were up against the best in this era is Jasprit Bumrah across all the three formats. He's just an incredible bowler. Those in-swingers early. Jason Roy's kind of poor form continues. Joe Root, because of the in-swinger, he has to play at that, or feels he has to play at that ball just outside of off stump. Stokes gets a good one. And then it just transcended from there. The pressure was on. The ball was doing just enough. Brilliant from Bumrah and India. This England side, I mean, it's remarkable English cricket that when we get a good white ball team, we don't play good test cricket. And when our test teams start to play good test cricket, our white ball team gets affected. I just don't know why. Something's funny is happening in the waters, but brilliant from India, not so clever from England.
Yeah, fair enough. 6 wickets to Jasprit Bumrah, 1 for Zaheer Khan, firing that one at the very start of the show. But Zaheer, one of the areas you mentioned, along with the brilliance of Bumrah, which we'll discuss in a moment, was India would also need to get all departments right, including their catching, their fielding. And today, Rishabh Pant, the reflex catch from Prasidh Krishna, and that outstanding catch from Surya Kumar on the boundary. Everything, all bases covered.
Everything just fell into place right from the toss. I think the toss was also crucial. Reading of the conditions was very important. And we've seen in T20s, Rohit was opting to bat first. But today he read the conditions to perfection, decided to bowl first, and bowlers responded. Bumrah had a special day out there. Variations in length, the swing, the movement of the pitch. You just name it, and everything was there. But what was equally important was the support which he got from Shami and Prasidh Krishna both, and Hardik as well. So the fast bowlers coming in, keeping that pressure going was very important, and one bowler just running through. So Bumrah couldn't do anything wrong today. Just one of the greatest spells in ODIs which you will ever see, because in the first 10 overs, 5 overs he had taken 4 wickets. That was the game there. I know India will have to go out there and make sure that the runs are chased out. But I think the job has been exceptionally done well by all the fast bowlers.
Yeah, but let's stick with Jasprit Bumrah for the moment. We mentioned earlier, only the third Indian bowler ever to take 4 wickets inside 10 overs after Javagal Srinath and Bhuvaneshwar Kumar did it in Johannesburg and Port of Spain, respectively, Michael. But this time he was up against the defending world champions on their home turf, and he had to produce something very special. If you had to really sum it up, I knew you talked about it from the batsman's perspective, but how would you sum up Bumrah's brilliance on this particular day?
Oh, I think why he's so good is that when it's swinging, he can swing it either way. And it's that action that you think from that action, he can only swing it one way, and that's back into the right-handers. But he's got an amazing wrist to be able to go either way. And he works out very quickly when it's the right time to swing the ball and then when it's the right time to seam the ball. He's just got such a great mindset of knowing what to bowl at the right time. Even that last wicket of David Willey. Yes, Willey, but he's watching the batter all the time. And you can see Willey just moving across to play the ramp. So he just fires it into leg stump. He makes his decision right at the last minute. And I think all the great white ball bowlers, they had this amazing knack of running in, and then at the last minute they can see the batter do something and they change what they're going to do. Those big in-swingers early to Jason, I mean, the first over setting the tone was just remarkable. Absolutely fantastic. Yes, the conditions are there and there was a bit more movement than I would have expected, but it's just the way that he uses the conditions. He just seems to always know exactly how to use the conditions that are in his favour. That's what great bowlers do. They realise when it's in their favour and they capitalise.
Yeah, and I think, Zaheer, if we look at it from even a neutral perspective, there are times when you say, oh, it was a great bowling day, and there are bowlers at 150 k's an hour who are going past the nose and terrorising batsmen. On other days like this, there's help for the bowlers. And what Jasprit Bumrah did was he used the help in his favour, used seam, used swing, of course, and like in the case of Joe Root, used the bounce.
Absolutely, I think the overhead conditions and the pitch conditions what were on offer, he used it to perfection. So it's just about when you're in good rhythm, things tend to look very easy and simple. And that's what is happening with Bumrah at the moment. The rhythm is great, the confidence is high, and he's bowled enough overs in test matches as well. He's been playing through and through. So when you are in good rhythm, you tend to make it very easy on the eyes. And when you have conditions help, then these kind of spells which you see. And Bumrah has been very consistent with producing these kind of spells. We've seen it in the last year as well when he was bowling those reverse swing in the same ground. Crucially taking those wickets, bowling that full and fast Yorkers. So when you have these kind of variations, and he's not even used bouncer today at all. So because the conditions were in favor of swing, and he could use the seam as well, he was not really going for that bouncer option that much. So it's about using the right things, which is what the great bowlers do. Understand exactly what is required, and understanding it quickly. Like I keep mentioning this one thing. There's no point going back and then someone telling you could have done this or you could have done that. The good bowlers, and when you talk about experience, they do things proactively on the ground, looking at what the batter is doing, what is supposed to be done, what is the weakness, or what is going in his mind, or how he's looking to counter me, and how can I adapt and be one step ahead of that batter. So those are the things which you see in all the good bowlers, and Bumrah is a perfect example of that. He's got a very good what should I call it, cricket CPU placed right at the top, and he uses it to perfection.
Love that. Cricket CPU certainly inside the brain of Jasprit Bumrah. But an interesting little tidbit here. This is the first time in the history of ODI cricket when India have bowled first that seamers have taken all 10 wickets to fall. 6 plus 3 plus 1. And I think that's a telling story there, because India have always had some support from spin, even on seaming conditions. But all 10, first time ever when India have bowled first. And I think the story there, Michael Vaughan, if you think of, say, Surya Kumar Yadav's 100 in the final T20I, he batted brilliantly, but he just didn't have anything at the other end to help India win the game. Today, Jasprit Bumrah might have been outstanding with 6 for 19, but without a little help from his friends, England may have got to 160.
Yeah, partnerships is the key in cricket. And Shami, look at those figures, 3 for 31, again, just setting the tone, great lengths, getting a bit of movement, good pace. It's a great combination. Shami and Bumrah. I actually thought Shami at Edgbaston in the Test match was so unlucky. He could easily have had 3 or 4 more wickets, and that could have been India winning the Test match. He does seem to be that unlucky bowler, Shami. I know he's got 3 for, but he very rarely gets the bag full. But what he's doing at his end is really pushing the batters back. He's pushing them back and he's building pressure. It happens a lot, doesn't it, where one bowler gets the rub of the green and the wickets tumble at their end, but it always takes someone else at the other end building pressure as well. So India have got a wonderful bowling attack. They got the conditions and they've completely used it.
Well, they certainly have. A word on Rohit Sharma as well, Zaheer, because he had to attack not only in terms of fields, but we knew that he wasn't exactly thinking of, once you've got the side 6 and 7 down, You don't want to be thinking, okay, Bumrah is now scheduled to come in the 42nd and Shami in the 44th. So now let me get Yuzi in. Let me give Hardik a few more overs. He really made sure he utilized as much of Bumrah and Shami as he possibly could.
No, he's brilliant. There is no doubt about that. Tactically, he is always on top of the game. And today also, there can be a debate around when Bumrah should have come back. But you look at Bumrah bowling that first spell of 5 overs. I think he was thinking of giving him the 5 overs together rather than bringing him for 2 overs. So that's why was the delay. And I think he clearly knew about that. He knew that Indian team is completely on top of the game. Even if he brings in the spinner, that is not going to be a defensive. In fact, it's going to be an attacking move because when the batters get desperate for runs, they're going to go after spinners because there is hardly any help for spinners. So that was the thought process. So it was a calculated gamble there, and Chahal is very good with really looping that ball and tempting the batters. So that's something which was definitely on his mind. And Bumrah coming back and cleaning up the tail because he got that extended run as well. So I think it was all very well thought through approach, which I felt. And Rohit Sharma has got tremendous experience of making sure when he's on top of the game to make sure that the game is killed there. So I think he's done exactly that today.
Well, he's had a little bit of time to spend with Jasprit Bumrah in various dressing rooms, so it helps to know your weapons, as it were. But Nelson on the board in terms of the runs to chase, 111 to get in 50 overs for India. Michael, in terms of an approach, you sometimes can tell yourself sauce for the goose can be sauce for the gander. India don't want to go in with a mindset of thinking, look, if we could have got movement, if Bumrah could have done that, England can do it too. England will need to think from that point of view. From India's point of view, how do they approach this run chase?
Well, I saw the ball swing for about 6 overs, so 3 from each end. So you probably want to just have a little look for two or 3 overs. I mean, England have to go on the attack, so there's going to be loads of gaps. England have to have the slips in place. You almost have to have a test match field and say to win, you're up, we're going to bowl you out. But I don't think it's possible. I really don't. And India, they're trying to play this new style of cricket. Yes, see off 2 or 3 overs from either end to get rid of the swing, and then you've got to play. Knock these runs off quickly, get the game done and dusted. Give yourself a bit more breathing space, get to Lords, have a net tomorrow afternoon, and then play again. It's just, it's quite a simple process that India have to go for now. Is just to see off the first couple, don't lose 2 or 3 in the first few overs, and then, once Rohit Sharma and Shikhar Dhawan's in, Sherris Iyer and Zaheer Khan, get it over and done with. Get stuck into the chicken in the dressing room as soon as you possibly can. I mean, the food's not even ready yet. That's how quickly they've bowled England out. They've not given the chef long enough to cook the food. So just take 15 overs, knock the runs off, and then the chicken will be ready to eat.
Not sure everyone's into chicken in that dressing room. There'll be a few vegetarians in there. So there's a bit more of menu planning to do in that dressing room at the Oval. But it'll be an unscheduled restart. They'll be waiting for the dinner to be ready. But the first process will be to feast on the England bowlers rather than think of the chicken.
Absolutely. I think everyone is looking forward to this unexpected break, I guess. With so much cricket being scheduled, I think, if you finish the game early and get to the next venue, that's the best thing you can do. So I think the coach will be very happy. All the players also will be happy. Batters right now will be in the zone to make sure that they get these runs. So apart from the batters who will be going into bat, the rest of the guys will be in a very jovial mood and looking at just making use of this rest. And it's a very well deserved rest for bowlers for sure. They've been superb today. So that's how things will be, I think, in the dressing room. In the England dressing room, things will be different. I think they will be looking at creating that energy and looking at giving themselves a chance. And the only chance they have is by taking wickets and getting Indian team all out. So you would want to see that because this is the first game of the series. So you don't want to see that dropped shoulders or that belief which is not there. I think you want to see that character from this English side, that you go out there and you put out a good show, you create that resistance, even if you know that it's going to be inevitable, the result, you still have to go out there believing that you can make a match out of this.
Yeah, I think that's important, Michael. I mean, I know, as you said, you don't think it's possible for them to do it, but if India were to go and win this match, there are two ways they do it. One is 111 for no loss in 15.2. Another is 111 for 5 in 21.5. And England would much rather lean towards the latter, whatever happens. But key bowler for you to try and maybe put a bit of a scare in India, Michael.
Oh, I think Reece Topley. He'll swing the ball. We saw that in the last T20. He's a bowler that likes to move the ball around. Maybe they go with the two left armers to try and get swing there. The two, Brad and Carson, over to the more hit the deck bowlers. They bowl that in the middle, bowl quite quickly. It wouldn't surprise me if they go with the two left armers to get the ball swinging around.
Yeah, well, let's ask the left arm seamer in the house from the opposition. Zaheer, you reckon that that would be the key? Because we've seen what Topley can do up front. Willie's sort of a wily old customer, the all-rounder who's been around the block.
Yes, Willie's has been there for the new ball, to make those inroads with the new ball. That's how teams have used him. So Willie for sure will be there, and Reece Topley will be using his height. We've seen that with the height, he also has a good swing and the control over that. So that is something which is going to be important. You've seen with Rohit also at times with the ball coming back in, the left arm bringing the ball back in, can get him into trouble. So we'll have to be he will have to be watchful of that, and make sure that the first spell is out of the way. I think the Indian batters will be thinking on those lines. They would not want to be ultra aggressive. They will think of taking the time. And making sure that the first 6 to 8 overs they don't lose wicket. So that will be the approach. But from England's point of view, I think they'll have to get the ball right up there. We've seen with Bumrah also, when the ball is pitched up, the slot length, which is usually the feared lengths by the bowlers, I think is the length which they will be focusing on, and you will have to do that because you have to make that early inroad for this to this Indian batting order. So that's the only way forward I'm seeing for the England bowlers.
Well, that remains to be seen. We're waiting to see India's approach. This once again to remind you what's happened. But a quick question to Michael. I know we've all been off the mark, but without the help of your committee, and I think you need to form another committee for ODI cricket. When was the last time you were 233 runs off the mark in a prediction?
Well, my committee are like the government over here at the minute, all over the place. I need to have a new cabinet. I'm going to have to go starting to campaign for a new cabinet to make my decisions. I think was I 244 off?
You were almost 344 playing 111. So 233 to be exact.
230. That's got to be a record of worst predictions of all time. What was the question? What are we predicting now?
Well, we can go for a prediction for India in the first 10 overs, let's say. First 10.
42.
First
10, 42. Zaheer, are you going higher than that?
Well, I think first 10, I was thinking it will be around that. So I'll go higher than that, 47.
47. All right, then lower, higher. I went lower last time and I did well. But when it comes to India, let me reverse it, because as was mentioned on the show, there will be gaps out there. England might need to have test match fields. So a little edge over the slips, 4. Anything through the covers, there's gaps in there, 4. So how about 55? Could even exceed that. So 55 in the first 10. India halfway. 55 means they're halfway to the total with 40 overs to go. That'll be fun. All in all, India on top at the moment at the Oval. That's all we have on Cricbuzz Live. We're going to be back in the 15th over to see how far India have got on this chase for 111.